Good evening, guys. So let's continue with exempting circumstances. So natapos na tayo last meeting sa justifying. Tuloy natin sa exempting ngayon, tapos mitigating. Okay? So how do we differentiate muna, no? Pagkumparahin muna natin yung justifying saka exempting. Sa justifying, ang nakasulat po sa Article 11 ng Revised Penal Code, nakalagay dyan, no. Yung first clause, no? Tingnan nyo. Article 11 nakalagay no. Meanwhile, nakalagay po sa Article 12 yung first clause, exempted. What does that mean? Ibig po sabihin sa justifying circumstance, wala talagang crime at all na nakomit. Okay? Meanwhile, sa exempting, mayroong crime na nakomit. It's just that this person is exempted from liability, criminal liability. Yun ang pagkakaiba po. Okay? So, tandaan natin ha, kung tatanayin kayo, no? Tatanayin kayo ng professor nyo ng trick question. Did the minor, sabihin natin, commit a crime? The answer is yes. The minor committed a crime. It's just that he is exempted, di ba? From liability, criminal liability. Meanwhile, pag sa justify kayo tinanong, did he commit a crime? No, he did not commit a crime because he acted in self-defense. Ganon ang plating ng sagot. Okay? So, tuloy na tayo sa exempting ngayon. No? So, ayan na, nilagay ko na, no? This means the accused commits a crime or committed a crime. Committed a crime. But he is exempted. He is exempt from criminal liability. Okay, so isa-isahin po natin. No? So mayroon 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. May 6. No? Sa Article 12, may 6 dyan na 6. Yeah, may 6 na exempting circumstances. Okay, so yung isa dyan, no? Isa dyan. Lahat po na yan, may isang absent na requisite. Yung yung requisites ng dolo. 'Di ba? Ano yung requisites ng dolo? Freedom, intelligence at saka criminal intent. Okay, so sa tatlo po na yan, may isang absent pag exempting. Okay, tingnan natin, no? Pag sinabing imbecile o insane, absence of intelligence. That's why exempted from criminal liability. Okay? Next, no? Minority, same thing. Absence of intelligence din. Okay? Pag accident, no? Aksidente, absence of intent naman. Yung last requisite ng dolo, wala. Yung criminal intent na tinatawag. Of course, absence of culpa din dapat. Lagay. No? Absence of intent and culpa. Lagay. Culpa. Para sa Article 365 sa reckless imprudence, hindi siya madali. Okay? Irresistible force. Ano yan? Absence of freedom. Walang kalayaan. Walang freedom to act. Same thing po ang uncontrollable fear. And lastly, yung failure to perform an act required by law due to a lawful or insuperable cause. Absence of intent ulit. Anyway, tatakil natin mamaya, isa-isa. Simulan muna natin sa imbecile. Nakalagay po dyan sa Article 12, Paragraph 1, imbecile or insane, di ba? Unless the latter acted during a lucid interval. What does that mean? Ibig po sabihin ng imbecile, walang lucid interval. Why? Why po ang insane may lucid interval, ang imbecile wala? Ibig po sabihin ng imbecile, hindi na po nagkakaroon ng consciousness. Kasi imbecile means yun yung second childhood na tinatawag. Meanwhile, insane, sira ulo. Okay? So pag sira ulo, minsan, hindi sira ang ulo. That's why lucid interval ang tawag. Anyway, no? So pag nasa court, no? Hindi natin nasa court, lalo na sa mga first year, no? Sabihin natin, na-chargean si Mr. A ng homicide. Ipiplead ngayon ng defense, insane po siya at the time of the commission of the crime. O di kung insane siya at the time of the commission of the crime, the defense has to prove that. Kasi yung depensa nila. O, ayusin natin, no? Sabihin natin, no? Si Mr. A was charged with homicide. Okay. Inamin ni Mr. A that he killed this person. Okay. However, ang defense niya, insane siya at the time of the commission of the crime. So, ano mangyayari doon? Magkakaroon po tayo ng tinatawag na reverse trial. Kasi inamin na po niya, inamin na ni Mr. A, no, na siya pumatay. So kailangan nasa kanya ngayon ng onus, nasa kanya ang burden of evidence to prove that insane siya at that time. Sabihin natin, hindi niya napatunayan na insane siya at that time. Convicted. Kasi judicial admission po yung killing. Anyway, nagkakaroon na tayo ng evidence. Basta inamin niya na kasi, no, judicial confession na. So, with that, inamin na niya, pwede siya makulong. Paano naman po ngayon pag napatunayan ni Mr. A na siya ay insane at the time of the commission of the crime? O they presume exempted, di ba? Exempted yan. Pupunta naman po yung bola ngayon, yung burden naman ngayon, napupunta na sa prosecution to prove that si Mr. A was actually not insane but was actually acting during a lucid interval. Sabihin natin, probably nung buwan na yun, sira ulo siya. Pero nung araw na yun, ang ginawa niyong crime, lucid interval. Okay? Ganun po ang that's how general rule, that's how defenses, that's how exceptions happen. Pag nagkaaroon na ng hearing, nagkaaroon na ng case, no? Palitan lang ng bola. Palitan ng bola. Pasahan ng bola. Okay? Meanwhile, sa imbecile, wala po. Once napatunayan na yung ating accused is imbecile, automatic exempted yan. Okay? So, what do we mean when we say absence of intelligence? It just means there is, what do we mean when we say absence of intelligence? It means the accused cannot distinguish what is right and what is wrong at the time of the commission of the crime. Yun lang ibig sabihin ng absence of intelligence. Okay? Marami pa mga sinasabi ng mga consciousness, mga ganun. Basta yun lang. Kaya lang sasabihin nyo dapat. He cannot extinguish between right and wrong. Nagsira ulo eh. Diba? Okay. Next, no? Insanity at the time of the commission of the crime and insanity at the time of the arraignment. How do we differentiate the two? Kapag po at the time of the commission of the crime, exempted. Pag po at the time of the arraignment, pero nung commission ng crime, no, hindi siya insane. Ano po ang mangyayari sa accused? The accused is criminally liable kasi nga hindi siya insane at the time of the commission of the crime. However, insane po siya no arraignment niya. So ano mangyayari? The arraignment will be suspended until his mental capacity is restored to afford him a fair trial. Under Rule 116 yan, no? Ng Rules of Court. So sa criminal procedure niya malalaman yan. He will be criminally liable but the trial or the hearings must be suspended until he regains his intelligence, until he regains his mental capacity. Due process kasi. Okay, move tayo, no? Okay na ito eh, just included it here, no? So, just read them through na lang yung mga instances na to. When was there insanity, when is there sanity, and so on. Okay. Ito mas gusto ko kasi i-tackle to eh. Yung minority. Kasi ito lagi yung natatanong. Hindi naman yung insanity yung usual tinatanong sa bar eh, o sa exams. Normally tinatanong itong mga bata. Kasi ito, mas maraming naging accused na minor. Diba? Mas marami. Diba? Dami ng bata nagkakaroon ng criminal intent, di ba? Okay. So ganito gagawin natin, guys, no? So may dalawang we need to compare, no? Kung ano yung edad ng bata. Okay? So edad ng accused. Okay. Tandaan nyo, pag 15 years and below, saktong 15, pababa, exempted, no questions asked. Wala nang iba pang usapan. Next, 15 years and 1 day to before 18 years of age. Exempted as a general rule. Tandaan nyo ha, the prosecution has to prove that, sabihin natin, the 16-year-old child was acting with discernment. What does discernment mean? Ayan, nakalagay yun. Same thing na naman. He has the capacity to understand what is right and what is wrong. Puro yun lang ulit. Okay? So, tandaan nyo ha, 16 years old yung bata. Ang presumption dyan, exempted. Exempting circumstance. So, pag paano mangyayari yun? Sabihin natin, pagkakaiba nung, di ba pagkakaiba, pareho lang. Sabihin natin, Mr. A again was charged with homicide. O ngayon, sabi ni Mr. A, totoo po, pinatay ko. Ako pumatay. Pero, I will prove my minority to you. Yun ang kailangan patunayan. Inamin yan eh. So now, the burden is on the defense to prove minority. Pinakita ang birth cert, pinakita ang baptismal, lahat pinakita. IDs, national ID, nagpakita ng passport, ganyan. 16 years old lang yung accused. Presumed, exempted. Now, yung bola, mapupunta na ngayon kay prosecution to prove that this child was acting with discernment. Alam niya kung ano ang mali at tama nung siya ay nag-commit ng crime. Pag hindi napatunayan ni prosecution, exempted. Pag napatunayan niya yun, liable. Okay? Sige. Ayun na, inilay ko na kayo yung third. 15 years. Wait. 15 years in 1 day to before 18 years who acted without discernment. Dapat nakaganito. Exempted since absence of discernment has been proven. Okay. Pag acted with discernment, criminally liable. Pero ito, naglagay ako ng tangent na rito. We will tackle further later on. Pag 15 years and 1 day before 18 years of age, criminally liable, but there is a privilege mitigating circumstance of minority under RA 9344. No? So, liable, pero bababa mo ng 1 degree yung penalty to be imposed. Okay? Anyway, move tayo. No? 18 years of age to 70. Yan ang criminal liability talaga. Wala nang exempted yan. 70 years and 1 day onwards, criminally liable, but there is an ordinary mitigating circumstance under Article 13, Paragraph 2 sa mitigating. By the way, guys, ordinary lang to. So, hindi po degrees ang pinag-uusapan natin. Brief, na tayo? Preview of mitigating whatever, no? Saka yung mga degrees na yan. Pag sinabi yung privilege, we're talking about degrees. Pag sinabi mo ordinary, we're talking about periods lang. Okay? Privilege degrees yan. Lower by 1 degree. Meanwhile, ang ordinary, maximum, minimum, medium yan lang yun. No? So, yun. Later on, we will tackle that. Pag nasa further articles tayo. Okay na to. So tayo dyan. Ayan, who must prove the age of the child. Any person alleging the age of the child has the burden of proving the age of this child. The defense, di ba? Siya yung nag-allege eh. Siya yung gumagamit, siya yung nag-co-content na exempting. Siya magpatunay. Pero ang dali lang patunayan. Di ba? Paano mo namang i-dispute yung birth cert? Di ba? That's public document. Di ba? Official, written official entries in the public records. Birth cert. No? So, prima facie evidence na yan ng nakasulat na edad ng bata doon on birthday. So mahirap mahirap siyang i-overcome. Kaya madali lang to. Pag napatunayan ni age, presumed exempted na kung 16, 17. Pag 13 anyos, 14 anyos, wala nang pinag-uusapan, automatic acquitted. No? Sige. Who must know? No, sabihin natin, di ba? Sabi ko, in theory, ang nagpapatunay sa age, yung defense. Paano naman ngayon pag napatunayan ni defense? No? Who must prove that the child acted with discernment? The prosecution. Okay. Okay na tayo dyan, no? Paano lang. Basic lang naman tong first two na to, no? Paragraphs, yung minority, saka yung insane, at saka imbecility. Next tayo, accident. No? May 4 na requisite dyan. Performing a lawful act with due care. No? He causes an injury to another by accident without fault or intention of causing it. Saan po usually na bumabagsak ang accident? Pag itong apat na ito, andun lahat, o the exempted. Bumabagsak po normally sa accident dahil dito sa second at saka sa fourth. Joker at saka yung fault or intention of causing it. Fault pala. Sa word na fault at saka sa word na joker. Kasi pag unjoker, that's negligence. Pag sinabi mong fault, that's negligence. Kaya po ang kasalungat po, ang laban ng accident is actually Article 365 of the Revised Penal Code. Yun po ang kalaban nito. So pag sa facts, sinabi ay exempting circumstance daw yung accident, ina-allege nung accused. Titingnan nyo kung if this accused acted with joker. If this accused acted without fault on his part when he killed somebody. Okay. Accidental firing ng barrel. What are the instances? Bakit po nagkaroon ng ba't po nakapatay? Paano ba yung barrel na yan? Paano ba? Nililinis ba? Tapos yung kamay niya nasa gatilyo, ganyan. Was there a joker in that scenario? There's none. Diba? It was not joker. Ba't naglilinis ka ng baril, ilalagay mo yung kamay mo sa gatilyo? So, reckless imprudence yun. Homicide. No? Ganun ang kasalungat. O meanwhile, ang second ko example dito. Paano pag halimbawa, shooting sa TV series, TV programa, mga teleserye. Ngayon, o sabi itong baril na ito, walang laman. Sabi nung creatives. Siyempre, artista. Tinignan. Mukha naman walang baril. Ay, walang baril. Baka walang bala. Ipinutok doon sa stuntman, tumama, namatay yung stuntman. Was there joker? Was there none? Was there fault? Or was there no fault? Diba? Tingnan nyo sa facts, no? Use common sense na lang. Huwag may mga ganyang negligence. On the other hand, you do not need to say these things, no? Kaya nilagay ko lang din if you want to. Hindi naman in practice, hindi naman, when you answer, hindi naman na kailangan sabihin niyang mahahaba na that degree of care, precaution, and vigilance. Basta use your common sense. Apply basic human experience. Okay? Basic human nature when you answer. Okay? Irresistible force, saka uncontrollable fear. So, magkakambal yan. Ano pagkakaiba ng irresistible force at saka uncontrollable fear? When you say irresistible force, we're talking about physical. Okay, physical force yan. Pag sinabi mo uncontrollable fear, we're talking about psychological, mental yan. Okay, so what are the two elements of irresistible force? There must be compulsion of irresistible physical force and it must come from a third person, no? Not the accused himself. Mamaya titingnan natin what are the ano ba ibig sabihin? What do these elements mean? So, simulan muna natin sa first, no? Sa irresistible force, ang important po dyan, by the way, no? I don't know kung nabanggit ko na sa inyo, no? Tandaan nyo, sa criminal law, ang important yung adjective. No? Yung adjective ang lagi important. Sa compulsion of irresistible force, irresistible physical force, ang important dyan, hindi naman yung compulsion. Important dyan yung salitang irresistible. Kasi po, bakit? Bakit important ang adjective? Kasi dyan yung po makikita kung exempted o hindi. Kasi if the force is resistible, hindi exempted. Pero may physical force. So, hindi po sa physical force yung contention. Yung contention doon sa adjective na irresistible. Can he resist or can he not resist? And then you decide from there. Akala nyo, well, especially mga first year, akala nyo, makikita nyo sa mga cases, yung mga hinahanap ng professors nyo, mga hinahanap ng examiner. No. Normally, nasa caudal, specifically, dun sa adjective. Maybe may mga questions na talagang nasa kaso, pero yan guys, pag sa provision, dyan ang contention lagi, nandun sa adjectives. No? Okay, so tingnan natin, what does irresistible mean? No? It means the force is present, imminent, impeding, no opportunity to escape. Ayan. Kaya na bahala kung ano mga gusto nyo description dyan. Kung ako sa inyo, sabihin niyo 4. Present, andyan na, imminent, paparating na, impending, ayan na. At wala na siyang oportunidad upang tumakas. Tingnan natin, meron akong 4 na example dito, di ba? So, mahilig ako sa example nga. No? A group of rebels ordered Mr. A to kill Mr. B while pointing a gun at him. Tinatakot. Ganyan. Patayin ka namin pag hindi mo pinatayan. Magiging, magiging gawain niya ng ano, no? Hindi naman siguro rebelde, pero sa mga terorista. Di ba? Yung kaibigan, papatayin ng isang kaibigan kasi tinetrete ng terrorist group. No? Ano ginawa ni A dito? Mr. A killed Mr. B. Is Mr. A criminally liable? No, because he acted under a compulsion of an irresistible force. Why? It was present. Nakatutok eh. Imminent. Kasi kakalabitin na lang, patay na si A. Kung hindi niya, pinatay yung kanyang kaibigan. At wala siyang opportunity to escape. Nakatutok na eh. Diba? Okay. Pasok, no? So, walang criminal liability. Exempted. Next. A group of rebels ordered Mr. A to kill Mr. B the next day. To kill Mr. B that tomorrow. While pointing a gun at him. Next day, Mr. A killed Mr. B without the presence of the rebels. Is Mr. A criminally liable? Yes. Tingnan nyo kung ano yung sagot ko. Because the force was resistible. Di ba? The next day, the duress was not present, was not imminent, was not impending anymore. Dadadag pa ito. Further, he could have escaped. Di ba? As the rebels were not present at the time. The incident. Di ba? Ano lang kasimple. Ayan, ito yung mga next mo. Mas mahirap, mas complicated ang mga examples. So I have 2 more. Mr. A was ordered by Mr. B while holding a gun to kill Mr. C. Mr. A was also holding a gun at the time that Mr. B made the order. Okay. Is Mr. A criminally liable? Yes. The force was resistible because Mr. A also had a gun. Diba? Hindi naman pala the rest was not present, no? Thus, Mr. A, ayan, had an opportunity to escape, diba? The situation or to refuse the order of Mr. B. Para sila may baril eh. Lastly, what if the gun was already pointed at Mr. A? Paano pag ganon? Diba? Pareho silang may hawak na baril, pero si Mr. A, si Mr. B, naunahang itutok yung baril kay Mr. A. So, si Mr. A, yung kami siguro, nasa holster pa lang. O yung baril, nasa baba pa lang ng bewang niya. Hawak-hawak niya. While si Mr. B, na-point na kay Mr. A yung baril niya. In that scenario, we can say nga na irresistible force eh. Diba? Kasi a pointed gun is much more dangerous than a held gun. Diba? Naunahan eh. So we can argue that there was irresistible force in that case. Diba? Nakita niyo yung pagkakaiba lang ng tanong. Ito yung sa holding pareho, isa naging pointing na. See? That simple, guys. Hindi nyo kailangan when you illustrate like this, no? When you exhaust yung kaya yung when you exhaust your mind, no? In forming, creating illustrations like these ones, dyan kayo magkakaroon ng true mastery. Kasi natitrain yung isip, especially sa mga first year, no? Do it early na, ngayon pa lang. Yun kasi makikita na paano natutwist yung law, paano natutwist yung, di naman yung law, natutwist yung facts. And how will the law be applied to it? Doon yung makikita. Okay? Hindi nga sa pagbabasa ng case eh. Pero you have to read cases kasi nag-a-assign nga yung prof nyo sa inyo. Pero ang ko na sabihin sa inyo, kung gusto nyo talagang makapasa ng bar, ito ang sa feel ko kailangan yung gawin. Kasi ito, back to back, parang hindi na back to back, pero parang double benefit. Kasi nakakita na kayo ng example, kayo pa gumawa. So, na-try na yung sarili yung gumawa ng example. Tapos nakakita pa kayo ng example kasi binabasa niyo gawa niyo eh. So yung retention niyo twice as good, 'di ba? As yung nagbabasa ka lang. Kasi utak mo iba yun eh. Ito, utak mo to gumawa, binasa mo pa. Ang tindi ng mastery. Di ba? Eh yung pag nagbasa ka ng case or nagbasa ka ng example ng iba, like my example, di ba? You're just speaking this up from my brain, from my mind. Di ba? Iba yung gawa nyo. Kasi pag gawa nyo, hindi nyo makakalimutan yan. Inatandaan nyo. Ganun pa. So, in other words, no, in short, hindi ganun kadaling pumasa, pero hindi rin ganun kahirap. Okay, so, ano siya, hindi ganun kadali na kaya nyo lang mag 2 hours, 3 hours aral. Pero hindi ganun kahirap na kailangan mag-panic attack kayo lagi pag mag-recit, pag magko-quiz, pag mag-exam. No? Kasi if you follow the process well, hindi na in short to, no? In long na to. If you follow the process of learning, hindi kayo matututo. Hindi pwede. Ilang naman. Kaya hindi rin kailangan na sobrang matalino kasi hindi naman or sobrang galing mag-memorize kasi memorization is not the game in law school. Okay. Application is the game in law school. Yun lang hindi sinasabi sa inyo. Okay. And the less you neglect this process, sagot kayo ng mga bar question, gawa kayo ng sariling example, the more you prioritize these things, the more na magkakaroon kayo ng chance na maging lawyers. Who knows, baka maging top notcher pa kayo. Actually, kung nagawa to, ginawa ko to, bar review eh. Dati, akal lang din ako ng case. No? Hindi naman, well, nakakatulong, pero hindi ganun ka-tindi yung mastery. Okay, so next element, no? Must come from a third person, not the accused himself. Kasi mayroon pong makikita nyo yan no, sa mga cases. Sabi nung accused, mayroon daw irresistible force. Yung kanyang primal instinct, yung kanyang passion, yung kanyang extreme desire. Ay, mga yan. Kaya niya na-rape yung babae. Dahil sa kanyang matinding pagnanasa, sabi gano'n, it was irresistible to him. Wala siyang choice daw, ni-rape niya yung babae. Tama ba yun, di ba? Kautuan, okay? Of course, kautuan yung mga ganun tamang defense, yung mga tamang argument lang, no? Hindi, no? Sabi na nga, basic, it must come from a third person, it must not come from the accused himself. Yung irresistibility ng force. Okay, so next tayo sa uncontrollable fear. No? So sabi ko nga sa inyo, yung irresistible, it's physical. Uncontrollable fear, more on psychological to, mental. No? So ano nakasulat dyan? Again, important adjective, uncontrollable. Saka sa next element, hindi naman yung injury important. Important yung adjective ulit, equal or greater. Sige, tingnan natin sa uncontrollable. Again and again, ulit lang. It must be real, it must be imminent, it must be reasonable. Kasi parang simple lang na mga adjective sa uncontrollable, sa irresistible force. Same lang halos yung mga adjectives, no? Okay. So, it must not be speculative, it must not be fanciful, it must not be remote. Same thing this here. Hindi ko lang nailagay, no? Of course, dapat hindi fanciful, hindi speculative yung force. Dapat talagang actual na. Same thing po dito. Dapat hindi speculative, hindi fanciful, hindi conjectures. No? Okay. Hindi siya future injury. Hindi siya threat of a future injury. It must be imminent injury. Present na. Real. Okay? So, meron akong ilan na naman to example ito? Tatlo. Tatlo example naman ako. Okay. And all of these, I made it. I made them. Simulan natin. Mr. A texted Mr. B that if Mr. B will not kill Mr. C, Mr. A will kidnap Mr. B's spouse and children. Matakot si Mr. B. Ano ginawa ni Mr. B? Pinatay niya nga si Mr. C. Is Mr. B exempted from criminal liability? The answer is no. Why? Because the fear was controllable. It was not present. It was not imminent. It was merely fanciful, speculative, remote. It was a threat of a future injury. Diba? That's why, hindi po siya uncontrollable fear. Eh di kung tinreten ka ni Mr. A, makakidapin yung mga anak mo sa kay asawa mo, dapat hindi mo pinatay si C, hindi ka dapat sumunod. Ang ginawa mo, pinatrektahan mo yung pamilya mo. Diba? Next, Mr. A kidnapped Mr. B's spouse and children. Kinidnap na. Later, Mr. A texted Mr. B that if Mr. B will not kill Mr. C, Mr. A will kill Mr. B's spouse and children. Dahil dito, pinatay ni BCC. Is Mr. B exempted from criminal liability? Yes. Yes. Okay? Exempted na. Kasi meron na po real, imminent, reasonable, present na fear. It's uncontrollable already. Diba? See the difference? Itong isa, tinex lang na threat. Ito isa, legit na kasi nakuha na yung mga pamilya. Diba? Ganun ang pagkakaiba. Next, no? Mr. A's mother is ailing. The mother was confined in BBB hospital. His mother's hospital bill amounted to 1 million. In order to pay for the same, Mr. A issued 10 post-dated checks. By the way, ito pala, no? Equal injury. Papatay din, di papinatay din. Di equal injury, di ba? So, pasok talaga sa exempted. Next tayo dito. Mr. A's mother is ailing. The mother was confined in BBB hospital. His mother's hospital bill amounted to 1 million. In order to pay for the same, Mr. A issued 10 PDCs. The checks were later dishonored due to insufficiency of funds. Mr. A was later charged with 10 counts of violation of BP 22, bouncing checks law. Malalaman nyo yun pag nagkiringto na kayo. Iba ang BP 22 sa estapa by means of deceit. Later on, malalaman sa crime to yan. Bootcamp natin. Mr. A claims that he issued the checks because of an uncontrollable fear of greater injury. Ano daw yung greater injury na yun? The hospital will not release his mother until the bills were paid and the hospital will let her mother die for the same reason, for non-issuance of the PDC. Sabi niya, tama ka naman, greater injury yun. Bayad lang to, cheque lang, ang kapalit naman ng greater injury, baka naman hayaan nilang mamatay yung nanay niya, di ba? Is Mr. A exempted from criminal liability? No din. Why? Ando na naman tayo sa adjective because the fear was not real. It was not imminent. It was speculative. Saan naman niya nakuha na pag hindi binayaran ng ospital, hindi niya binayaran yung bill sa ospital, hindi naaalagaan yung nanay niya. Saan naman niya nakuha yun? Ano basis niya? May ebidensya ba siya? Wala. So ano tawag dyan? Speculative. Conjectures. Diba? It was not real and imminent, no? It was purely speculative. Ay, ilagay ko na pala dito.